What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, if you've been following the channel for a little bit now, you know how badly I have wanted the My Hero Academia anime to serve as the definitive ending for My Hero Academia as a whole. And the reason why I wanted that so badly is because when it comes to the manga, the ending is really badly stretched out. Like, I'm talking My Hero Academia more isn't until like the final volume, and then the chapter that we're going to be talking about today isn't until an art book that comes even later on. So if you want to follow the ending in the manga, like when it was releasing, it's really hard to keep up. So that's why I wanted the anime to essentially be the one-stop shop for everything My Hero Academia. So that way it's just easier to find everything and it's all digestible. But for a little bit, I was worried that that really wasn't going to come to be because when the final season of My Hero Academia got announced, we found out that it was only going to be 11 episodes, and that's including the epilogue. Now, at first, I was worried for My Hero Academia more, but I didn't have to worry about that too much because more got announced like pretty quick after I think the season ended. But what I was really worried about for the longest time was the Airy one shot, simply because like we didn't hear anything about it in the final season, like production wise. More, it wasn't included with more at all. So I was wondering at first, like, are we not going to get to see Aries' story and essentially get the definitive ending for My Hero Academia that I wanted? But I didn't really have to worry, and then it pretty much got announced like right after more came out anyway. So we are now here. We now officially have the definitive ending to My Hero Academia, but how was this episode in its entirety, right? Like, was it able to elevate itself from what it was in the manga? And I think it did. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about Deku's definitive ending and how Eri was able to give it to him. So, first things first that I want to talk about, if you read the official chapter when it came out, you know this beginning kind of plays out the same, right? You see Eri coming to visit Deku at school. She runs into Aizawa. She gives him the buns from Kota. Like, it all kind of like plays out the same for a little bit of it. But what I really liked too was when Aizawa is talking to Eri about her show, right? And what I like about this so much is that this show, in and of itself, is kind of Aries' way of welcoming Deku back to hero society, because she wanted to talk to him here, but she doesn't want to talk to him like on the street or anything like that. So she kind of wants her music in a way to be able to communicate her feelings to Deku of like how much she appreciates him, how much she's so glad that he's back in hero society because he was able to do so much for her when she was a kid. That's what I like so much about Eri and her performance, right? And I especially like too that she's keeping them on like an opposite terrace, but they can still watch the performance because I think she and Aizawa both knew that if Deku was like there on the official stage, it would kind of detract from what Eri was trying to do. It, like, in a way, even though Deku wouldn't be trying to do that, he would still kind of be detracting from what Eri was trying to accomplish with this show. So that's what I like. I like that Eri essentially is like, I don't want to monopolize like the attention or essentially like what they were able to provide for me, right? Because like she appreciates them so much and everything that her or everything that like Deku and Lemillion did for her, that she doesn't want to monopolize that. She doesn't want to take advantage of it. And that's honestly really good about Eri. I like that. It shows like how much development Eri has had like throughout her life as a character. I love that. I love what they did with Eri here. Eri, in my opinion, just flourishes in this chapter. I mean, it is about her, but she just flourishes. And after this, we then see Cementos call everyone over, All Might included. And can I just say, it was so good to see All Might again, like in his role as vice principal. Like, All Might is a character that we all thought at some point was going to die for the longest time. Like, I thought he was going to die, like, all the way back in Kamino. So to see All Might here, defying the odds, right? And getting to be a vice principal and continue to see new generations of heroes, like, enter hero society, like, through from UA. it just hits, man. I love it so much. It shows that you can defy like fate if you really believe in it, if you really believe in yourself. And man, like All Might is just the perfect example of that. All Might is just such a good character. Everything that he stands for, really. Like this is the culmination of it. Him being in that role as vice principal, it just hits different. But we then see them all go over to the TV, and we get to hear a broadcast going on. And at first you're like, oh, what is that? And then you're realizing that this is a broadcaster talking about Deku's return to Hero Society, right? How he's teaming up with Bakugo and Shoto to essentially go stop crime. And what I love the most is when she's introducing Deku, like talking about all of his feats, talking about how he finally got his powers, or not his powers back, but how he's donning armor and he's ready to go like fight crime again. He's ready to come back. He's back. The One for All hero has returned. You get to hear Yusei run. And can I just say, this might be my favorite version of Yusei Run, because not only is it Deku running to stop crime, but it feels so heroic and it feels just so triumphant. That's what I love about it. It's a triumphant moment for Deku of finally being able to do what he loves most, right? Like getting to be a hero again, something that he thought he would never get to be again. And you get to see just the smile on his face while he's doing it. But what hit the most was everything with Bakugo, right? Because Bakugo, like during My Hero Academia more, he was like rank 30 or something like that, right? He was way down in the rankings. But because Deku is back and because Deku is flourishing again as a hero, it's inspiring Bakugo to essentially become the hero that he's always wanted to be, right? Because back in the hospital, we saw Bakugo crying to Deku, talking about how he just wanted to be able to do this forever, chase each other forever, like just inspire each other to be better heroes. And when he thought that was gone, and he thought he was never going to be able to chase Deku like that again, he essentially like that's why his ranking tanked, right? Because he didn't have that. He didn't have that essentially drive to become better and to go up in the rankings because Deku wasn't there for him to chase. He didn't have that light. He didn't have that light to chase anymore. But when Deku comes back and you see him just skyrocket to rank number 4, already nipping at the heels of Mount Lady and Shoto, you see Bakugo essentially become inspired again because now he's able to finally chase Deku the way that he's always wanted to, right? Like you get to see them banter with each other, talking Bakugo talking about like how, like oh you don't have any like problem kids like having detention or anything like that, and you just get to see Deku and Bakugo's banter like for the first time. It's like such a healthy banter. It's not like you can tell how much they've evolved since their school days. It's just so good. Like the subtle character development that Bakugo gets here is like it's small, but and it's not the direct focus, but this is such a good way to wrap up Bakugo as a character, getting him finally getting his dream of essentially being able to compete with Deku side by side again. I love that so much. And Shoto can't be overlooked either because he's just as happy as the rest of them. And the reason why Shoto works here as well is because Shoto is a character that was so burdened with trauma and guilt and everything that comes from his family, right? He was a character that was burdened with all of that and everything with Toya. He had to go through so much as a kid. And for any other kid, that could break them, right? That could break them and it could change them and make them something unrecognizable. And it almost happened to Todoroki back in season 1, but Deku was able to save him, right? So I like the fact that Bakugo and Todoroki are the ones that are essentially teaming up with Deku here. The two major players in Class 1A that Deku was really able to save and change in a good way. And they're both going to help Deku. I love that so much, man, because Todoroki was a character that you thought could go one way, but because of all the development that he got and because of all like the healthy development that he was able to receive like from Deku and from moving on from his guilt and his shame. Like, he was able to evolve as a new character because now we've learned from My Hero Academia more, but he's always smiling. He's a character now that is always smiling. You even see it here, how he's just a character that's always smiling, right? Because showed like Todoroki before, like, yes, he was moving in the right direction, but he was never just smiling like this. But because of all like the healthy development and like everything that we learned from him in My Hero Academia more, like how he's doing cooking classes, like you get to just see that he's such a more put together and healthier individual. And that's what I love the most about these epilogue chapters. You get to see the growth of all three of these characters. And you get to see how Bakugo and Todoroki specifically were influenced by Deku. And that's why it's those three together in this final shot, right? It's the reason why these two are teaming up with Deku here, because Deku has inspired them so much and essentially changed their lives. That's why it's them. Because I saw people saying like, why couldn't it be Ida and Uraraka? And while I would have liked it to be Ida and Uraraka, the fact of the matter is, like, Bakugo and Todoroki, not only are they the more popular characters, but like, and even if I don't agree with it, but I do think that the fact that Deku was able to positively influence both Bakugo and Todoroki, like throughout the story, I think that's the reason why that Horikoshi made them the ones essentially being the ones to team up with Deku here. And honestly, I think it works. I like it a lot. I think it works a lot for the story. So that's honestly really good. But moving on from that, as Eri is watching the broadcast, you get to hear a little bit of an echo from Deku, right? And it's essentially him asking Eri, like, what her dream is. And as she's watching Deku smiling on the broadcast, you get to see Eri essentially flash back through essentially the whole series, right? You get to see her flashback, especially to Aoyama's farewell party, where she got to sing, and that's where you see her smile and do her classic guitar riff, and that's essentially where she talks about like how she's ready for her show. Now in the manga, this is actually where the one shot ends, right? It ends on this note, and we don't get to see anything else. So I was wondering, like, okay, are they actually going to show Aries' performance? Like, this is something that needs to be shown, and I ain't have to worry because literally 20 seconds later, they get right into the concert, right? You get to see Eri and the friends that she has who are in this band with her, tuning up their guitars, plugging in their pianos, just getting ready. And what hits the most, man, is when they start performing, the song is Hero 2. I love that so much because that is essentially the song that saved Eri. That's the song that brought light back into her life, like the song that saved her from the clutches of Overhaul. So the fact that that's the song that she sings, the song that she essentially is singing to Deku and Lemillion, thanking them for saving her, and Deku specifically for being the one to, or not, or her singing this to Deku essentially to welcome him back into Hero Society and to thank him for everything that he's done for her. It's just perfect, right? Like you get to see like the light shining down on Eri as she's performing. You get to see like cameos of everybody watching, like you get to see Kota watching. You get to see, oh my god, you see Earphone Jack, and it's so good, man. Like I love it so much because you can tell that she was giving her like singing lessons and all that, and her and Jiro had like, you could tell they really had like a little bit of a nice close relationship, especially since Aoyama's farewell party. So, and we even got to see it in more too, where she was, I think, doing guitar in the flash or in like the slideshow thing with Jiro. She was doing guitar with her, so they set that up beautifully. Like Jiro was essentially her mentor when it comes to music, so that's great. But dude, what I love the most, man, is while Aries singing, you get to see how it's having such an emotional impact on Lemillion, right? Like everybody yes has like a really good reaction to it, and you can tell that everybody is moved by her performance, but Lemillion the most, man, when he takes off his sunglasses and you can just see that the tears are building up for him because Lemillion is a character that like he carried so much, I think, residual guilt from everything that happened with Overhaul, right? Like, because he didn't know if Eri would be able to really truly move on from that. But the concert that UA put on was like the first step. And now that she's essentially fully formed, right? She's a high school student. She's happy. She's found her passion. She's doing what makes her happy. You get to see Lemillion just break down because he was part of the reason why Eri is able to essentially be her own version of a hero, giving people happiness through her music. And that's just beautiful, man. I love that so much because Lemillion is a character that, in my opinion, he deserves the world, right? I love that he's the number one ranked hero. I love that he's finally, I feel like, getting to move on from essentially that guilt that he was carrying around when it comes to Eri. Because, like I said, he probably thought in the back of his mind she would really never truly be happy like this, even though she was making great strides. I don't think he knew if she would really find happiness like this. But the fact that he's able to watch her performance, the fact that he's able to see with his own eyes that she's found something that she loves so strongly, it just hits, man. I love it so much too. It's just so good. But what I also love too is when Eri can tell that Deku is taking photos of her and she smiles at him while he's taking the photos, and Deku smiles back at her. Like it's essentially them having this little moment together. Dude, it's just so good, man. I love everything about this whole one shot. It's so good. Like, you get to see Present Mike like doing like little disco scratches, like the little details that they added here, man, is just so good. And then you get to see everybody from class 1A watching the performance, harkening back to Aoyama's farewell party where they were watching her there too. Like, it's just so good, man. They really treated this one shot with love and care because, like I said, it is the definitive ending for My Hero Academia that we always wanted. So the fact that they went all out with it here, the fact that they gave it the love and attention and detail that it deserved, and adding new things to it and making it so perfect, it's just the best. It's one of the best things I've ever seen from My Hero Academia, in my opinion. I loved it from beginning to end. Like like I said, just getting to hear Hero 2 and that essentially being Aries' anthem and her that being her hero anthem because it's the song that brought light back into her life. That's another thing that I love too, actually. When you get to see the flashes of Eri growing up throughout the years, where at first it's just Eri in the darkness, but when she's singing the song and when it's introduced to her, you get to see her turning. You get to see her you get to see her slowly smiling. You get to see the headphones on her, and that's where she's finally the happiest because she's found what she's wanted. It's music, and this song being the thing that saved her in essence. I loved it so much, man. They crushed it with that whole little sequence right there. It's just so good. Everything about this is just perfection. And it makes me sad, man, because I don't want My Hero Academia to be over, right? This one shot and pretty much solidified for me that I would love My Hero Academia to come back someday. But if it doesn't, if this is the last time we see My Hero Academia, at least in show form, I think this is the perfect ending. Eri getting to sing her song to Deku, essentially welcoming him back to Hero Society, and thanking not only Lemillion but Deku for everything that they've done for her. Like, that's the perfect way to wrap up My Hero Academia for me because Deku has essentially had everything else that he's wanted, but right, like he's gotten to be a hero again because of the armor. He got Uraraka. One of the last things I felt like he needed was like a public thank you for everything that he's done. And I think Eri singing this song to him is that last thing that he needed, right? That's the last thing that he needed for his arc to essentially get closure. Him getting a proper thank you for everything that he's done as a hero from somebody that he's saved. Like, I think that's perfect. I think that's a perfect way to wrap up his character arc. And if this is the last time we see Deku, that's the best way to end it, in my opinion. So, without further ado, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know what you guys thought about Aries one shot down in the comments below. Did you guys feel similar to me, where you guys thought this was like one of the best things that My Hero Academia has ever done? Or do you guys think they could have added more to it? Oh, and if there's anything that I missed, let me know, because I know I probably missed some things, but let me know what I missed down in the comments below. I would love to have discussion going about this, because this was perfect to me. I loved it so much. But without further ado, I'm going to wrap it up here. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.